So then an urgent motion of no confidence has been tabled in the Ekurhuleni Council tonight against the acting EMPD police chief Julius Mkhwanazi. It's after he was accused of doing favors for businessman and alleged criminal Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. This emerged at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that's looking into political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system. The allegations were made by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Mkhwanazi in his evidence delivered there last week. Let's take you to Ekurhuleni now. Bring in SABC News reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa, who's tracking this story. Mbalenhle, so let's talk about this motion, because the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Mkhwanazi, Julius Mkhwanazi, is now on special leave. So what is the point of this action that is being considered by council?
Well, certainly, Tembegile, he has been placed on special leave after he applied earlier this week. However, that special leave was approved earlier today, just hours before this urgent motion was tabled before council. Now, the motion is to place Brigadier Mkhwanazi, Julius Mkhwanazi, on a suspension or precautionary suspension to allow an internal investigation into the allegations that have emerged from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, as well as that very explosive briefing that was held by KZN Provincial Police Commissioner Mkhwanazi. And this is what has prompted this motion that is being deliberated behind us right now. Now, the reason for this motion is to not just to have the brigadier being placed on special leave, but the parties that are here would want to see Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi being placed on suspension, which would mean that he would not be able to enter the premises while he's on precautionary suspension. However, if he is on special leave, it means that he would still be able to interfere in the internal investigation. And that is what some of the political parties have said here in Ekurhuleni, explaining why it is important to have this not no confidence motion, but this motion to place him on a special leave. Thank you so much for taking the time. Can you give us just background information on what exactly is happening and what has prompted this motion that is being deliberated here? Is there an internal investigation that is ongoing, and is there a chance that the Brigadier Mkhwanazi could interfere in this investigation?
Good evening, Bali. As you may know, that today was scheduled for an ordinary council sitting. In the hours of last night, I think there was a motion submitted to the Speaker of Council. The motion spoke to proposing that the acting chief of police be put on precautionary suspension. As you did confirm, he is currently on special leave, and right now the matter is being deliberated by councillors.
Okay. And with regards to the internal investigation, how far is it, and is there one that is ongoing right now? And what is the difference between precautionary suspension and being placed on special leave?
Look, since the allegations were placed against the chief of police, the first step that was taken is that our internal audit department was instructed to initiate an investigation into the allegations, just to see what's happening in that section. But two, the executive mayor has met with the chair of the audit committee, so that investigation is happening on one side. And then in terms of the precautionary suspension, this is a matter that they are deliberating in council. As it stands, internal audit is looking into the matter, and we'll hear the outcome of the council session right now as to would they agree to place him on precautionary suspension or not.
Now, just for the benefit of our viewers, the differences and the implications. If he's on special leave, he can still enter the premises. The Democratic Alliance doesn't want that because they believe he's going to interfere with the internal investigation that is ongoing. Your thoughts on this?
When you're on leave, you are away from work, and that's why you apply for it, to notify work that you're not going to be around. So I think as it stands, he is on leave. As to whether the suspension does happen, that's a decision that's going to be taken by councillors, and obviously the acting city manager would have to enact that precautionary suspension, and then we'll take it from there. But the deliberations are on as we speak.
But why does council have to come to a decision or vote or come to a unanimous decision to suspend him? Why can't, the mayor just decide to suspend him?
As you may know, that council is the highest decision-making body of a municipality as per the Systems Act. And I think as councillors, they were concerned of the allegations that were in the public space, and that's how they have reacted to the matter. But it is an ongoing process. There will be more communication coming out of the city of what is actually happening. But it's important to note that internal audit is looking into the matter. The acting chief of police is on special leave. There is another acting chief of police currently, Okat Bezadenot, and we'll wait for the outcome of these deliberations.
There you have it. We are still waiting for the outcome of the deliberations inside, which will determine whether Brigadier Mkhwanazi is placed on precautionary suspension, which will then allow for an internal investigation to then continue with no interruption. However, some political parties have commended the Brigadier for having applied for special leave. However, the opposition parties here in council are not quite convinced that precautionary leave, or rather a leave of absence, is sufficient and will protect the integrity of the investigation that has started right now. It's back to you in studio.
Mbalenhle, thank you very much for that. And it's an important correction that this is a vote on whether to suspend the acting EMPD chief in Ekurhuleni, Julius Mkhwanazi, not a no confidence vote, as you were rightfully stating there. Mbalenhle, for now, thank you very much for your reporting from Ekurhuleni. We'll go back to Mbalenhle throughout this evening as we wait for the outcome of that vote in council.